Welcome to my channel. I hope today's story will be something you truly enjoy. Please support me even more. Now, let's begin the story.
Hi, I'm Raven Thornton, 29, and this is the night everything snapped. We were in the private room of a fancy steakhouse in Jacksonville, 30 people around the long table, crystal glasses clinking, when my 22-year-old brother Mason grabbed the edge of my 3-tier birthday cake, the one I'd paid for myself, and flipped the entire tray upside down. Frosting exploded across the marble floor. He looked straight at me, grinning like it was the funniest thing in the world, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Eat it with Max, sis. Max is our family dog." The whole table lost it. Laughter everywhere. My mom doubled over. My dad actually clapped. I just stood there for 2 seconds, felt something inside me go completely quiet, then turned and walked out without a word. 6 hours later, I was back in my Miami condo when the text came in from Mom. "We're cutting you off forever. Stay away." I stared at the screen, hit the little heart reaction, and typed one single line back. By midnight, my phone was blowing up with 58 missed calls. If you've ever had a family that treated you like a joke until you finally stopped laughing, stay with me. This one gets good. Hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. That Saturday afternoon, everything looked perfect from the outside. My family has always been the kind people in Jacksonville point to and say, "Look how close they are." Big house in Mandarin Country Club membership, yearly Christmas card photos with the dog. What nobody saw was the price tag attached to every smile and who was actually paying it. I'm the oldest. Raven Thornton. From the minute I turned 18 and got my first real paycheck at a tech startup in Miami, I became the family ATM. Mom Deborah called it helping out. Dad Ronald just stayed quiet and let it happen. My little brother Mason was 10 years younger, born when I was already in high school, and from day one he was the son everything revolved around. By the time he was in middle school, I was co-signing the mortgage on the 5-bedroom house because Mom and Dad's credit was shot after Dad's landscaping business went under. I was 22, still paying off my own student loans when they asked me to add Mom's Lexus to my insurance and put the monthly payment on auto draft from my account. "Just until things get better," Mom said. Things never got better. Then Mason got accepted to a private university in Orlando, the kind with palm trees, brand new dorms, and a tuition sticker that made my eyes water. Their financial aid package fell apart at the last second. Mom cried on the phone for 45 minutes. Dad got on the line and said, "You don't want your brother stuck at community college, do you?" So I co-signed the parent plus loans, the private loans, the whole package. Every semester since then, $42,000 has left my checking account before I even woke up. Meanwhile, Mason partied, changed majors 3 times, and posted yacht pictures with captions like "living my best life." Mom forwarded them to the family group chat with heart eye emojis. When I gently brought up that maybe he could pick up a part-time job, Mom shut me down instantly. "He's focusing on his future. You had it easy. You're established now. Let him be a kid." Even my grandma Gloria, who moved in with them after Grandpa died, got in on it. She ran up $60,000 on a platinum card designer purses cruises with her church friends, a new hearing aid that cost more than my first car. When the statements came, Mom forwarded them to me with a single line, "Grandma doesn't have it. You know how proud she is." So I paid those too. I never said no. Saying no meant lectures about gratitude, about how they sacrificed everything for me, growing up about how I was the selfish one, for finally having a good income and not wanting to share it. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself family helps family. I told myself one day they'd see what I was doing and at least say, "Thank you." They never did. So when Mom insisted on throwing me a combined 29th birthday and congratulations on the senior manager promotion dinner at the River Club, I paid the $5,000 deposit without blinking. I figured maybe this time they'd finally notice I existed for something other than direct deposit. I was wrong. The private room at the River Club was packed with relatives and Mom's country club friends, the kind of crowd that wears pastel and smells like money. White tablecloths, gold-rimmed plates, a string quartet in the corner, playing something soft and expensive. Mom had reserved the entire Riverview room, told everyone it was to celebrate my 29th birthday and my new senior manager title at the tech firm in Miami. In reality, half the guest list barely knew my name. They were there because Mason had posted the invite on his Instagram story and promised an open bar. As soon as we walked in, the spotlight swung straight to him. Mason, 22, 6'2", sun-bleached hair, wearing a linen shirt that probably cost more than most people's rent. He stood in the middle of the room holding court phone out, letting cousins and Mom's tennis friends take selfies with him. Every few seconds another flash went off. "Future CEO right here," someone joked. Mason ate it up. I hovered near the edge, holding a glass of champagne I hadn't tasted yet. Mom floated past in a cream dress, air-kissing cheeks, repeating the same line. "We're just so proud of both our kids." Dad stood beside the bar, nodding along, already on his third bourbon. The cake was supposed to be the big moment. 3 tiers, ivory fondant, gold lettering that read, "Happy 29th, Raven, Senior Manager." I'd seen the invoice when Mom forwarded it for payment, $3,000 from a bakery downtown. The waitstaff wheeled it in on a silver cart right after the main course. For one second, I actually thought this might be my night. They parked the cart beside the service table near the exit, not the main table, never the main table. Close enough for photos, far enough that no one had to move their purses. I started walking over, ready to smile for the candle moment, when Mason stepped in front of the cart like he owned the room. He was live on TikTok, phone angled down at the cake, narrating in that fake, excited voice he uses for followers. "Y'all check out my sister's cake, she's basically ancient now." A couple of his old high school friends laughed off camera. Then he tripped. His hip bumped the cart hard enough that everyone heard the metal rattle. The entire 3-tier cake slid sideways, toppled, and hit the marble floor with a wet splat. Frosting shot across the tiles like a crime scene. The gold topper cracked in half. Silence for half a second. Then Mason spun around, eyes wide with fake innocence, and said loud and clear, "Oops. Guess you'll have to eat it with Max now, sis." Max. Our golden retriever back home who gets steak on his birthday. The room exploded. Mom threw her head back and laughed so hard her earrings shook. Dad actually clapped once like it was performance art. A few cousins pulled out phones and started recording vertical videos, zooming in on the mess. Someone yelled, "Do it for the gram." I stood there, heels stuck to the floor, feeling the heat crawl up my neck. The waitstaff froze, unsure whose side to take. One of Mom's friends dabbed her eyes, still giggling, and said, "Oh, boys will be boys." Mom finally caught her breath, waved a hand at me like I was overreacting. "It's just a joke, Raven. Lighten up. It's your party." Dad lifted his glass toward Mason. "Good one, son." Not a single person told him to apologize. Not one person looked at me like I mattered. I set my champagne flute on the nearest table untouched, turned around and walked straight out the side door that led to the parking lot. The string quartet was still playing. Behind me, the laughter got louder. Someone started chanting Mason's name like he'd just won the Super Bowl. I didn't look back. I walked out of the restaurant, got in my car, and drove south on I-95 for nearly 6 hours straight. The highway was mostly empty after midnight, just semis and the occasional red-eye traveler. I kept the windows cracked, salt air rushing and radio off. My phone stayed face down on the passenger seat the entire time. I didn't need to look to know what was waiting. When I finally rolled into my Brickell garage, the clock on the dash read 1:58 a.m. The night valet gave me a quick wave. I took the elevator to the 23rd floor, let myself in, dropped my keys in the bowl, and stood in the dark condo for a long minute, listening to nothing. Then I picked up the phone. First thing I saw was the family group chat blown up with new message banners. I ignored it and went straight to Mom's private thread. One message sent at 12:47 a.m. After the scene you caused tonight, we are done. You embarrassed us in front of 30 people who have known you your whole life. We have decided to cut you out completely. Do not come back to Jacksonville. Do not call. Do not text. You are no longer welcome in this family." Underneath a heart reaction from Dad, a thumbs up from Mason, and a shocked face emoji from Grandma Gloria. I read it twice. No anger, no tears. Just a cold, flat calm. I opened my banking app instead of replying. 4 recurring payments stared back at me in red. $2 112 every first of the month. The mortgage on the 5-bedroom house in Mandarin they refinanced into my name when I was 23. $9 and $12 every 15th. Mom's brand new Lexus SUV title still jointly held because their credit never came back. $42,000 every semester, Mason's private university tuition, plus the premium dorm he couldn't live without. Whatever Gloria charged on the platinum card each month last month, it was $11 and $400 for a winery tour and new furniture for her bedroom. That was over $180,000 a year leaving my accounts before taxes. I scrolled further. Years of statements, extra transfers when Mason's fraternity needed dues, wire transfers when Dad's business equipment broke down. Charges from high-end boutiques Mom swore were once-in-a-lifetime sales, spa weekends, country club initiation fees. All of it quietly moved from my income to their lifestyle while I ate takeout at my desk in Miami. I sat down on the kitchen floor back against the island legs stretched out on the cold tile. The city lights flickered through the windows. 11 years of being the reliable one, the strong one, the one who never complained, the one who paid so everyone else could shine. I opened the family chat for the first time since leaving the restaurant. 72 unread messages, screenshots of people laughing at the cake on the floor. Someone had already posted a TikTok Mason's face in the thumbnail caption "Sister's 29th birthday gone wrong." I ignored all of it and typed 8 words. Removing my name from every loan starting Monday. I hit send. No emoji. No explanation. No please or thank you. The little delivered turned to read almost instantly. 3 dots appeared, vanished, appeared again. Then nothing. I blocked notifications, set the phone on the counter, and poured myself a glass of water. My hand was steady. The condo was silent except for the low hum of the refrigerator. For the first time in over a decade, I wasn't waiting for the next request, the next emergency, the next guilt trip. I wasn't bracing for the next hit. I was done carrying them. Whatever happened next, they would feel it without me there to cushion the fall. And I was perfectly fine with that. First thing Monday morning, I was already sitting in the Bank of America private banking office on Brickell, a thick folder on my lap, and my heart beating steady for the first time in years. I had booked the appointment at 3 in the morning, selected the 8:30 slot dressed in my sharpest black blazer and heels, and arrived 15 minutes early. The lobby was quiet, all polished marble and soft lighting. A professional woman in a tailored suit greeted me by name and led me past the regular counters to a private office with a wide view of Biscayne Bay. Mr. Harrison rose from his desk as I entered. He was in his mid-50s, silver hair, wire-rimmed glasses, and a calm smile that said he had seen everything. He shook my hand firmly and gestured to the leather chair across from him. "Miss Thornton, you mentioned on the phone this was time-sensitive. How can I help you today?" I placed the folder on his desk and opened it myself. Inside were 4 complete sets of documents, each one tabbed, highlighted, and organized in chronological order. The mortgage for the 5-bedroom house in Mandarin. The vehicle loan and title for Mom's 2024 Lexus SUV. Mason's full package of Parent Plus loans, private student loans, and luxury dorm contract. Grandma Gloria's platinum credit card agreement with my name, listed as the responsible guarantor. I need my name completely removed from every single one of these accounts, I said, meeting his eyes. Effective today. Harrison leaned forward, adjusted his glasses, and began flipping through the pages. He moved methodically, pausing at each signature line where my name appeared next to theirs. 10 minutes passed in silence except for the occasional turn of paper. When he finished, he closed the folder and looked up. These are all joint and several liability contracts. Removing a co-borrower isn't always simple, but it is absolutely possible. Do you have proof you hold no ownership interest in any of the assets? I slid a second thinner folder across the desk. Inside my Miami lease agreement, utility bills in my name, only email chains where Mom explicitly wrote "the house is ours, you're just helping," and a notarized letter stating I had never lived in Mason's dorm or used Gloria's card. He reviewed everything quickly, nodding as he went. This is more than enough. Let's get it done. He picked up his phone and started making internal calls. First to the mortgage servicing team, then consumer auto loans, then student loan division, then credit card services. Each time he spoke clearly, I have Raven Thornton in my office for immediate co-borrower removal on 4 accounts. Full documentation provided. No asset ownership. Expedite, please. While he worked, I sat quietly and watched sailboats glide across the water. Assistants brought in fresh forms. Harrison explained every single one before I signed co-borrower, removal request, liability release, affidavit authorization to freeze all joint credit lines, and certified notification letters to be sent to Deborah Thornton, Ronald Thornton, and Gloria Thornton at the Jacksonville address. I signed my name 28 times. Each stroke felt cleaner than the last. Harrison gathered the completed packets, stamped them with the official bank seal, and placed them in a secure envelope. He then opened his computer, typed for 30 seconds, and hit enter. Done. Your name is officially removed from all 4 obligations as of this moment. The freeze on joint accounts is active. Certified letters with tracking go out by courier this afternoon. Your family will receive them tomorrow morning, no later than 10. He stood and extended his hand. I stood too and shook it. You're not the first person to sit in that chair and do this, Miss Thornton. Family can be the toughest chain to break. You just broke it? Well done. I thanked him, took my copies in a neat bank folder, and walked out into the bright Miami morning. The air felt different, lighter. My bank account was finally mine again. For the first time since I was 18, no one else had a key to my future. The next move was theirs. By the time I got back to my condo, my phone had 58 missed calls and the screen kept lighting up like a slot machine. I dropped my bag on the counter, poured coffee I didn't drink, and finally unlocked the phone. Mom had sent 9 voice notes in a row, each one longer than the last. I played the first on speaker while staring out at the bay. Her voice cracked immediately, full-on sobbing, the kind she used when she wanted something big. Raven, how could you do this to us? The bank just called. They said you removed yourself from everything. Do you know what this means? We're going to lose the house. The second note was more tears, accusations about ingratitude. By the 4th, she was screaming that I was tearing the family apart. Dad sent one single text, short and cold. You're killing your brother's future. Hope you can live with that. Mason blew up my private messages next. 10 texts in under 5 minutes. You seriously just ruined my entire senior year. I can't register for fall classes now. The dorm already charged me for the upgrade. Where am I supposed to live? You're literally the worst sister on the planet. Each one ended with a string of angry face emojis. Then came the message from Gloria, sent separately like she wanted me to feel the weight of it. You're dead to us. After everything we did for you, this is how you repay your grandmother. I hope you rot. The family group chat was worse. Screenshots of the certified letters the bank had overnighted, pictures of Mom crying on the kitchen floor, Dad pacing with the phone to his ear, yelling at someone in customer service. Someone posted a photo of the Lexus with a caption, "Guess this is gone too now." Mason had started a GoFundMe titled "Help My Family" after my sister destroyed us, and it already had $17 from high school friends. I scrolled through all of it without reacting once. Aunt Linda chimed in. Raven, this is disgraceful. Call your mother. Cousin Tyler wrote cold-blooded. Even Mom's tennis partner Karen felt qualified to add, I always knew you thought you were better than everyone. I muted the chat, left it on read, and went about my day. Work emails, gym grocery run. Every time the phone buzzed, I flipped it over and kept moving. By Tuesday night, the missed call count hit 72. Mom tried calling from Gloria's phone, then Dad's work cell, then the house landline. Mason FaceTimed me 6 times in a row. I declined every one. Wednesday morning, a new wave hit. Mom sent a video of her standing in the driveway crying next to the Lexus, telling the camera I had taken everything from them. Mason posted it to his story with the caption, "Family means nothing to some people." It got 2,000 views before lunch. I still didn't answer. By Thursday afternoon, the tone started shifting. Fewer accusations, more bargaining. Dad texted, "We can talk this out like adults." Mom sent a voice note that was 90% tears, 10% just tell us what you want. Gloria tried guilt. I'm an old woman, Raven. Do you really want me on the street? I left every message on read. They had spent years treating my income like it was communal property. Now the commune was closed for business, and they were finally feeling what it was like to stand on their own. I slept better that week than I had in a decade. Thursday, Anna 9th, 17 p.m. The intercom buzzed like crazy, the kind of non-stop ringing that means someone is leaning on the button. I was on the couch in sweats halfway through takeout sushi when the front desk called up. Miss Thornton, there are 4 people in the lobby demanding to see you. They say they're family. Security is with them now. I told the concierge I wasn't expecting anyone and to handle it. 30 seconds later, my phone started ringing Mom's number. I declined. Then Dad's. Declined. Then a number I didn't recognize. Declined. The intercom buzzed again. This time, it was Carlos, the night security supervisor I'd known for 3 years. Ma'am, they're refusing to leave. The older lady is crying, the younger guy is yelling, and they're making the other residents uncomfortable. Should I call Miami PD? I told him yes. I walked to the balcony and looked 23 floors down. The lobby overhang lights were bright enough to see everything. Mom in the same cream dress from Saturday, hair messy, mascara running. Dad in a wrinkled polo trying to calm her. Gloria clutching her purse like a shield. Mason pacing in circles, phone up, live streaming the whole thing to whoever still followed him. Mom spotted a resident trying to enter and grabbed the woman's arm, begging her to make me come down. The woman pulled away fast. Mason started shouting my full name up at the building, voice echoing off the glass towers. Raven Thornton, get down here right now. Security formed a line. Carlos stepped forward with his radio. Dad tried the reasonable dad voice on him. Didn't work. Gloria sat down on the marble bench and wailed loud enough for half of Brickell to hear. 2 Miami PD cruisers rolled up within 6 minutes, lights flashing but no sirens. 4 officers stepped out, calm hands near belts. Carlos met them at the entrance and pointed at the 4 people now surrounded by curious residents filming on their phones. I watched from above as the officers separated them. 1 talked to Mom, 1 to Dad, 1 to Gloria. The 4th took Mason's phone when he kept waving it in their faces. Mason tried the, "Do you know who my sister is?" line. The officer didn't look impressed. They gave the standard trespass warning: private property resident has refused contact, leave immediately or be arrested. Mom collapsed against Dad, sobbing harder. Gloria stood up, pointed at the building, and screamed something I couldn't hear. Mason tried one last time. He cupped his hands and yelled toward my floor, "This isn't over, Raven. You'll pay for this." An officer took him by the elbow and steered him toward the Uber that security had already called. Dad half-carried Mom. Gloria shuffled behind, clutching her purse like it was the only thing left. The officers waited until all 4 were inside the car, then watched it pull away. The lobby cleared. Residents went back to their elevators. Carlos gave the officers a salute. The cruisers left. I closed the balcony door, turned off the lights, and finished my sushi. They had flown down on the last flight out of Jacksonville, thinking a surprise ambush would force me to fold. Instead, they got escorted out of a building they'd never helped pay for in a city they only visited when they needed something. My phone stayed silent the rest of the night. Exactly 92 days later, the foreclosure auction sign went up on the front lawn in Jacksonville. I know because a former neighbor sent me a photo, bright yellow sign bank logo date circled in red. The 5-bedroom house with the pool they always bragged about was scheduled to be sold to the highest bidder in 3 weeks. No one had made a single mortgage payment since I walked away. 2 days after that, Mom's Lexus disappeared from the driveway. Repossession truck came at dawn. Dad tried to block the tow driver with his body. The guy just waited until police arrived. The SUV was gone before lunch. Mason's University sent the official withdrawal notice the following Monday. Without the cosigner, the remaining balance was due immediately. He lost his spot in the private school in Orlando, forfeited the luxury dorm deposit, and enrolled last minute at Florida State College at Jacksonville Community College. Public no palm trees, no meal plan. His new student ID photo showed up on my blocked Instagram stories. Through a friend's account, he looked smaller somehow. Gloria sold every piece of jewelry she owned at a pawn shop off Atlantic Boulevard. The woman who once bragged about her diamond tennis bracelet and South African pearls walked out with a check for $8,000 and a plastic bag of empty velvet boxes. She needed it to keep the platinum card from going to collections. I heard none of this from them directly. I heard it from cousins who still thought guilt might work, from old high school friends who sent screenshots from public records I checked once a month just to confirm the dominoes were still falling. Meanwhile, my own life moved forward at full speed. 3 months after the restaurant, the board approved my promotion to Director of Product for the entire Southeast region. New office on the 32nd floor, company car, signing bonus that made me laugh out loud when I saw the number. I bought a bigger condo on the water, cash down payment, no cosigners needed. I started traveling for work, New York, Austin, LA, and no one asked me to send money home. Then, on a random Tuesday evening, exactly 6 months after the cake hit the floor, one final text slipped through from a new number. It was Mom. Raven, we were wrong. We see that now. Mason is struggling. Gloria's health is failing. The house is gone next week. Please, we're still your family. Can we talk? I read it once. Felt nothing. I long pressed the message, chose block this caller, then went into settings and blocked every email address, every social account, every possible way they could ever reach me again. I deleted the family group chat from my phone entirely. I removed the shared iCloud photos. I erased the last 11 years of digital breadcrumbs. They no longer existed in my world. I poured a glass of wine, stepped onto my new balcony, and watched the cruise ships slide across the horizon under the Miami lights. My accounts were healthy, my career was soaring, my weekends were mine, and my phone was finally blissfully silent. I never replied. I never looked back. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. They're meant to burn so you can see clearly in the direction you're going. And for the first time in my adult life, I'm walking straight ahead with nothing holding me back.